Michael Schumacher, who is on lap 50 of 56, has just gone by. His car is definitely easier on its tyres than his teammate, who I can see in the pits. Yes, he's had to stop again. Disaster, surely. This may well have ruined his race. He's going to have to put qualifying lap after qualifying lap in if he's going to have any chance of taking something from this weekend.
Hey guys, Harrison1 back at it once again with a brand new video for you, and welcome to episode 6 of our F1 2012 Champions Mode playthrough. I must admit, it's been 4 days since I last made a video, and there's numerous reasons for this, so allow me to explain. There's multiple reasons why I've been away. First of all, I have to say that YouTube's been broken for a little while, unfortunately. My Alonso video for Champions Mode for the first, I think, 2 or 3 days it was up, really didn't do well. I think I had something like 240 views, which, considering I've got nearly 2,300 subscribers, it's kind of irritating, because that means about 10% of you were watching, and that's not good enough. And I think it was to do with the fact that YouTube's layout had changed. The layout had changed and the sub boxes were broken again. I think it had something to do with Felix Baumgartner's jump as well. I think it literally broke YouTube. YouTube was actually completely down after he finished his jump, after 8 million people had watched. I mean, I can't help but shake the feeling of, if we can have 8 million on YouTube at any one time watching a guy jump off the edge of space, which by the way was friggin' insane, by the way. Props to Felix and the whole Red Bull team for putting that one off. But at the same time, we kind of think, why can't this basic sub issue be fixed? I mean, I think it's hurt channel growth by about 20% across the board. It could be so much better, which is kind of sad and irritating in a way. You know, you wish it was better, but I thought to take a little bit of time off to focus on my uni work and things like that in the meantime while YouTube fixed itself. So now it appears to be back to normal. I'm back. So, hi. Welcome to Michael Schumacher's Champions Mode Challenge, where it's pretty simple actually. You have 6 laps to try and chase down Michael Schumacher. You're on a fresh set of the option tyres while everybody else is rocking primes. Luckily, this challenge is probably the easiest of all the one of the easiest of the 7 challenges in the game. It's about the same as Kimi Raikkonen's in terms of difficulty, because 1, the track is dry. 2, you adequately fueled to the finish, which means you can just whack the fuel mix up and go to town. And 3, there's no real outside influences that can really hurt you on this one besides your own driving ability. So whack the fuel mix up and go for it. You've got plenty of time as well. Not even like the Raikkonen challenge where you're kind of limited on laps. You've only got 3. In Japan, you've got 6, and if anything, it's even worse because the other cars are held up by traffic. There's a lot of traffic on this one. There's a lot of back markers and other cars in tight formations. So be wary of this when you're driving around. It can have a negative impact on you, but for the most part, you should be fine. Like I said, you've got 6 laps. Plenty of time, take it easy. You can even go on to win like I did in the video. It's pretty basic really, just don't do anything stupid and you'll probably be okay. So yeah, that's Michael Schumacher's challenge. That's the best advice I can give you for that one. It's an easy one. Now if you finish this one and obviously the previous 6 before it, you unlock the ultimate challenge. The ultimate challenge is something I will explain more about in my series finale, which is coming up next. If you want to see that video early, leave a like on this video. If I get, say, 75, does that seem reasonable? 75 likes, I will upload the ultimate challenge as soon as I get there. So who knows, it could be as early as tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see those likes, let's see that support. That would be great. Now, talking about said champion, because I'm in a habit of doing this throughout the episode. Michael Schumacher. Well, where do you start? He is the most successful driver in Formula 1 history. he's been around since, in Formula 1 as long as I've been born, and I'm 20 years old. I was born in 92. I think he debuted before that, actually. I'm not 100% sure on that, off the top of my head, as I'm recording this, as I do many things on the fly. But I've grown up watching him. I mean, he's now 43 years old, would you believe? And it's hard to believe that he's been around as long as he has, and he's come back, and he's still able to keep himself somewhat relevant in Formula 1. I mean, probably not so much now. I mean, you look at these stats and you realise that, he is the most successful, maybe even the best ever. I mean, I know there's people out there that think this, and, he's always a perennial name. I mean, you can't think about a greatest of all time list without considering Michael Schumacher. It's impossible not to. If you don't, you're kind of stupid. I mean, his first race was the 1991 Belgian Grand Prix. He won a race before I was even born. In that time, he's had 7 world championships, over 300 race starts, 91 race wins, 155 podiums, 68 pole positions, 77 fastest laps. I could go on and on and on about this man's success and what he's done in the sport. He's just been so successful. And maybe not so much now. I mean, the obvious thing that stands out is his comeback, and talking about his comeback, because but I'll get to that in a minute. I grew up watching Schumacher at Ferrari. That was the era when I was young enough to start getting into the sport, and just watching that man's dominance. You could tell he was the best in Formula 1, and he's done a lot of naughty things in his career. It's like Schumacher pushed the blueprint of what it took to be a successful Formula 1 driver, what it took to win. And I think Schumacher had that pure element of winning, even if that meant bending the rules a little bit sometimes. Remember the time he parked his car at Monaco during qualifying, or the time he deliberately pointed the car to cause an accident? I think it was it Damon Hill or Jacques Villeneuve? I can't remember. It was Damon Hill, yeah, I thought so. It was Damon Hill. I can't remember what year it was. I remember my brother just correcting me on that one in the background. Thanks, Ryan. But it was Damon Hill. He's pointed the car, to cause an accident, to try and alter championships and things like that. Where you think, shit, that's naughty. But he did it, and that's just what he did. And I can't help but respect him for what he's done. And maybe as a pure racer, you can appreciate that he would do anything and everything to win, and maybe he pushed a few boundaries in doing that and ticked a few people off. But hey, you can't argue with success. I've said for many years as well, though, that many of the reason why Schumacher's got 7 world titles was because Ferrari had such a dominant car. I'm not saying it was all on the car. I think Schumacher will be the first guy to say that the car was fantastic, and it's true, because the Ferrari was a bulletproof car. It was a bulletproof car. It would never go wrong. And I think even Nigel Mansell's come out and said in interviews that the fact that I think Michael Schumacher was gifted 2 or 3 world titles due to the car that he had. And, the Ferrari and its reliability was bulletproof. I think at one point it went 5 years in a row without a mechanical breakdown. You can't buy that kind of reliability. But I mean, watching Schumacher, any Formula 1 fan who grew up in my era, like the late 90s to early 2000s, to even the mid 2000s, have to admit that he's done so much, and he's blown people away on numerous occasions. I mean, so that, which was surprising. I think it was Eddie Jordan that first called his comeback, and he did come back 2 years ago now. It's hard to believe it was that long ago, but talking about that experiment, I mean, let's be honest, that experiment was a failure. Mercedes just haven't got the race pedigree to, consistently challenge for race wins even close to what Ferrari did. I mean, I think Schumacher still had flashes of brilliance since he came back to Formula 1, and, there's still a bit of the old fire there beneath him. But Mercedes just aren't good enough as a car, in my opinion. So you can kind of understand why Mercedes made an all-out play to get Lewis Hamilton under the team, because I think he can be the kind of elite-level driver that can get the best out of a car, or can raise a car above and beyond its normal expectations. Think of like what Sergio Perez did for Sauber this year, or Kamui Kobayashi did for Sauber, or maybe Nico Rosberg or not Nico Rosberg, sorry, Nico Hulkenberg, I should say. I always get the two Nicos confused. Hulkenberg or the rest have done for Force India this year. It happens. Pastor Maldonado at Catalonia is another example of just guys who are able to get the best out of the car and the tools available to you. Mercedes just haven't had that, and I mean this year has been particularly unlucky. I mean he's been jinxed by mechanical breakdowns. I mean in 2012, looking at his list now. I mean look at the Wikipedia page: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 retirements, 1 podium, 10th. 7, 7, 7, 6, 11, 13 is his other places. He's 14th in the World Championship this year with 43 points. It's kind of a shame. It really is. Because watching him as a guy I grew up and idolised as like this pure specimen of how to be a racing driver. It's sad because you want to see him do well. I know certain other Formula 1 guys I know are begging for him to have a win before he retires at the end of the season. Mickey Motions. But seriously, that was not a dig at him. He's just the world's biggest Schumacher fan, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, I could completely understand why. I would like to see him win one too, but realistically, I just don't think it's going to happen. But my question to ask for you guys at home is, do you think Schumacher is the greatest of all time? If so, tell me why. If not, who do you think it is and why? I mean, like I said, there's always a debate about Schumacher and what he can and can't do, and is he the best? Did he piss people off with some of his actions or his behaviour on the track? But the guy's a winner, and then that's one of the best traits you can have in Formula 1. If you can get the best out of what you've got, then you will always go far. So, but do I think he's the greatest? Tough to say. I don't think he is personally. I've always, for pure entertainment value, because I've watched so many older races, I have to go with Ayrton Senna. But I think Fangio is a one that's going to be on the tips of many people's tongues as well. Maybe Adam Prost might feature for a few people as well. Who knows? But yeah, I think Schumacher is passing the torch on to another talented German in Formula 1. His name's Sebastian, you may have heard of him. But yeah, let me know what you think of that, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry for the delay, I'll try not to make sure it happens again. Hopefully YouTube will get a grip of themselves and fix their shit. But I've been Harrison101, I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you want to see the Ultimate Challenge. I will catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and sayonara.
Looking likely that he'd finish first out of the two Mercedes drivers, but it was his teammate with fresher tyres who was able to take advantage of better grip and get past Michael before the end of the race.